it's not clear. It's not clear. I encourage everybody to come out and vote, to not be intimidated or put in fear. And I encourage our traditional leaders to actually be fathers to all. This perception is very negative. And this is why people are pushing, well, I will push for a situation where our royal fathers are not selected by politicians, right? They must be selected by their declarations, and the traditional houses should push the royal fathers forward so that they can always be in a position to say truth to power. That's the first thing. Secondly, the conversation about what happened at Ekpe, we have videos that did. The DPO came afterwards, after those gunshots were fired. So it was not fake news. I was there. Fortunately for me, the state security services did a fantastic job because they had people in Mufti way ahead of us. They had already given intelligence, so my people were riding on a bus. My chief detail took me down and I was down, out of sight, and about 5 minutes later, we had gunshots. There were gunshots fired, right? There were gunshots fired. So there are people that were there that can testify to this. People like Wale Oluwo were there. People like Honorable Najim were there. So it was nothing like fake news. But the DPO eventually came in and was at the junction where we could exit Ekpe, and they gave us cover. But that did happen. And we had 2 buses that their windshields were broken. We had cars that were, there was a lot of aggression, right? So those are realities that cannot be wished away.
All right, thanks for clarifying that. But let's talk about, you said something earlier around you working with INEC to ensure that there'll be an electronic transmission of results on Saturday, amongst other things. What's the update? You didn't give us the updates. How much progress have you made with that? And also, as you just spoke about security, it's another important factor. How confident are you in terms of the security provisions for Saturday, and what is your party and yourself doing to ensure that people come out to exercise their franchise?
So I did not say I'm working with INEC. I said we got an order from the court, a mandamus order. If I didn't pronounce it right, please forgive me. I'm not a lawyer. Okay. So for INEC to follow its procedures, and that is a subsisting order. So if INEC does not transmit votes electronically from the polling unit, they're already in they're in violation of that order. So that's what we've gotten. INEC has come out to say that they will transmit this time, but unfortunately, they've broken our trust. So we're going to go in there hoping for the best, but prepared for the worst. In terms of security, we've made significant security arrangements. So people should not be afraid to come out, especially in places that were attacked previously. Yeah. We have gotten ourselves organized. We're going to resist any form of intimidation or harassment. And that is the word I'm giving to people that are coming out to vote, because there's only so long you can take being bullied. We believed that there was going to be electronic transmission of votes initially. That's why those kind of organization did not happen. Because no matter what you want to do at the World Collation Center, we saw it in Oshun, where Omishore went there. The place was pretty much empty because results had been transmitted. Right? But now we know that that might not be the case, so we are prepared and well organized.
Let me posit 2 scenarios. In a case you win these elections, what will be your reaction? And in a case you lose these elections, what will be your reaction?
In case I win this election, I'll be jubilating and I'll be very happy that, Lagos is free. And it'll also be a very pensive moment where I start to reach out to people to think about how, thanking people, because this has been a labor of love. I'm only here because there are so many people that have supported us, not by money, it's grace of God as well. So there's that, the first 2 days. The question now is, how do I lose?
In the case you lose the election?
Yes, so the question is how. If there is violence, intimidation, there's no electronic transmission of votes, I'll go to court. I went to tribunal for my central case, so it's not something that I've not done before. But the idea is, let there be free and fair election so that people can move on with their lives afterwards.
Okay, what's your response to the ethnic politics being played? It's been said that you are Chinedu. It's been said that you can't even speak Yoruba. It's been said that your mom is Igbo, and that anybody with small drop of non-indigenous blood will not be allowed to be governor of Lagos State. In fairness to the governor of Lagos State, the incumbent, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, he has said people should eschew religious and ethnic bigotry. But that must be some kind of pressure on you, having to explain that your family is 5th generation in Lagos and all that. Are you going to this election overburdened that you have been labeled a Chinedu who should not be allowed near Alausa?
I would have if the governors we've had were from Lagos, but they're not from Lagos, and they're not indigenes of Lagos, and a lot of benefits that Lagos has given to these people, Lagosians and indigenous Lagos will not get it in their respective states. I'm talking about Osun, I'm talking about Ogun State, I'm talking about Kwara, I'm talking about even as far as Kogi, in case of Honorable Faleke. So I'm not burdened when people try to bring ethnic bigotry. I think when I started to get worried was the fact that the steward of the state, the governor, chief security officer, declined attending debates 5 times. I started to get worried because it implies that he did not believe that the people were going to put him in position. He believed that the political structure, his godfather, was just going to get him into position. Now he's moving all over Lagos because he's seeing the force and the strength of the people, right? Now, I understand that there's this feeling, this propaganda that's really taking heart in Nigeria against the Igbo people. You saw it in Amadu Bello's clip when he was being interviewed, this idea of a takeover, right? But most of these people just want business to work. They want commerce that works. That is it. Nobody's trying to take over anything, right? And I've said this several times, even on this show. The idea that someone will say Lagos is no man's land is extremely appalling to me, right? Because there are people that have built the culture and the idea of what Lagos is, the welcoming nature of it, from the Aworis, the Eguns, even before the Oba of Benin sent the current royal family to Lagos. It was already a trading post. There were people, the Tapa people were already here, the Nupe people were already here, and they were mixing, and there was a culture, right? And that culture is a welcoming one, a live and let live one, right? And that's why someone like Macaulay, Azikwe, could have one of his biggest allies in Adinji Adili, right? You cannot question the pedigree of Adinji Adili in Lagos State. But the issue is...
Blue blood.
Yeah, you cannot, but Adinji Adili or his progeny cannot go to Osun and become governor. They cannot go to Ondo and become governor, no matter how long they live there. It's so difficult for even an Ogbomoso man to become governor in Oyo State. So, let us not... Let's not go there. I know. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Mm. For Akala to have become governor, he was in the civil service for such a long time. For that to be repeated, it will take the grace of God. Right? So, for me, let's not... I know that there's desperation that sets in after that election, and people just tried all sorts of things, but let's keep it issue-based. Lagos deserves more than all of this. And we've lived in harmony for so long. Lagos is a microcosm of Nigeria, really. So we want Lagos to work, we want Nigeria to work, and that's what the conversation should be about.
Okay, thank you very much, Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour, candidate of the Labour Party in the gubernatorial election taking place March 18, Saturday. Thank you very much. We wish you all the best.